All right, welcome into the program, everybody. This is Alabama Unfiltered Radio. I'm Scott Beason. I hope you're having a fantastic morning. Hope the last 21 hours have gone well as well. It is a Tuesday, the 18th day of August in the year of our Lord 2026. I'm here. Big Sky Mountain Mosley is here. We got everything going pretty doggone well, ready to visit with you today. The number here, in case you just ever want to call the program, just put it in your phone, write it down. You know, I wouldn't write it on your hand. Eventually, you have to wash it, and it'll go off. But you could write it on the dash of your car. Most of them are black now. Well, just put it in your phone. 1-800-289-9228. 289-9228. If you want to call in about anything that we're talking about, go ahead and do so. So, Big Sky, how are you this morning?
Doing fantastic. It's
Good.
a beautiful Tuesday.
Come in sliding on two wheels.
No, just
Couldn't get them out.
Couldn't get the iPad to
really?
cooperate with. Yeah,
That's all
just,
right.
you
When
know
I hear
how
the
it is.
music coming, I'll just turn it on, and eventually you start toning it down a little, and I'm like, okay, it's time to go. Time
these
to go.
devices just want to annoy me the
It's
last
all-
12, 14 hours. I don't know why.
It is all good. Just, there are things that just stick in my craw. I don't even know why. Scott, I should be happy, but I'm going through the news, and I don't know these people. Scott, you maybe you're jealous. I don't think I am. I just feel like I'm a well, look, I know I'm a little strange. I get it, but I'm going to say a regular guy, just down in the South, just cutting the grass, living life, going to church, going to ball games, doing work around the house, the whole 9 yards. And I just think some of these national figures, national commentators who, have their podcast and millions of people listen to them, or hundreds of thousands of people listen to them, and you just think, man, are they as? No, I know the answer. Many of them are not as smart as they think they are. Am I as smart as I think I am? Probably not. Probably not. But here's a guy. Look, I don't know the guy. Here's a headline for you. Well, let's go back. Ask you what you think. This is an intentional you think question. Listeners out there, Americans, Southerners, Alabamians, do you think there has been hanky-panky, shenanigans, at least a little fibbing and some chicanery has gone on with multiple elections in the United States? Not just in 2020, probably in primaries that have recently occurred, probably in elections before. Let's go all the way back to even, was it the JFK election where they said it was stolen
1960 Nixon.
by the gangs, or the whatever they call them back then? They weren't the gangs then; they were the mafia or the mob.
JFK's dad, Joe Kennedy, said, I'll be damned if I'm going to pay for a landslide. Just a win's good enough. So yeah, could be.
Could be. So everybody knows that occurs. President Donald Trump comes along and says, "Hey, look, we got to do something. We've got to get this under control." I mean, it's not rocket science, and I understand his frustration. When we used to do voter ID, that was a big thing in Alabama, and the old AL.cons. It used to be the old newspapers and all that kind of stuff. Man, they just bashed us, and they go and find every left-wing group they could find from. It's always, the abbreviation groups. And they're like, oh, it's all racist. Oh, it's all oppression. Oh, it's all terror. Oh, I can't believe we got to stand up and fight solidarity. I will overcome. Oh, blah, blah, blah. And regular people, white, black, green, orange, brown, purple, chartreuse, red, yellow, whatever, we're like, always had that look on their face, guy, like you and I do sometimes when we're trying to figure out what in the heck happened to one of these computers, and we're like, We got that squinty-eyed look like, what the heck? Why I don't even understand. Why are we mad? So all of us know, deep down in our souls, that something needs to be done. Our elections are not believable. And everybody knows that. All across America. When you have something that polls 80-85% in the United States, you might as well just write that down as everyone knows. Well, what about the other 15, Scott? The other 15 are either lying or they don't know where they are. I mean, have y'all read the stats on how many Americans are on some sort of mental health medicine? That could be that 15%. I figure half the 15's lying through their teeth. They know what is going on. And then maybe that 7.5 is just, we don't even know where we are. Probably shouldn't be voting. We're functionally damaged. So we know there's a problem. And then some of these commentators, I won't say the guy's name because he's somebody has to come up with this headline. But it's so-and-so's interview with President Donald Trump where we'll just call him this guy. This guy stuns President Trump with his idea for a national security emergency for elections. Mike, his idea for a national security emergency? This has been bumping around for months and months and months, if not years and years and years, that a president should probably, Trump especially, have an executive order declaring a national emergency. I don't know if you can do an executive order for a national emergency, just a national security statement, Scott. Okay, do a national security statement, a national security emergency. Declare a state of emergency. You know how I know this idea has been bumping around for years, Scott?
How do you know that?
Because the conspiracy theories have always been from both sides of the political aisle that you know what's going to happen? Barack Obama is going to declare martial law, and we won't have elections. And then he will stay president. As soon as Barack Obama's out, Donald Trump wins by basically a miracle. The Clinton campaign did not steal enough votes to win, and that happens a lot of times. I've experienced in the state of Alabama that happening. And they're like, oh, my gosh, cannot believe this. Trump ended up winning. So what did the left say as it got closer to election time? Donald Trump will probably declare martial law, and there won't be another election. The republic is gone. So the declaring martial law is declaring a state of emergency. So this idea of some sort of declaration that will affect elections is not new. It's old. It's been around. And I just find it fascinating. I think what it is, Sky, is people like me, people like you, we're just not really good at self-promotion. Where, you meet somebody and he says, hey, yeah, this would be a good idea. And you run out and you say the same thing, and then you tell everybody and their brother how it was your idea. And you put it out like it was your idea, and you get other people to write it was your idea, and you do your best to see if you can get, the history books to say it was your idea when it wasn't your idea. But you get a lot of mileage out of it. You get a lot of traction out of it. You get a lot of followers, a lot of listeners, a lot of viewers, etc. But it's not something new. Now, whether the president decides to do something about it, that's a completely different animal altogether.
What would that entail? An emergency for elections? What do we have in mind exactly?
I think you end up having to do, and see, that's the question. Since it's not been done before, what are the courts going to do? What are the courts going to say? The courts have very, very limited control or review when it comes to national security. That is clearly in the hands of the executive branch. But as we have seen from dealing with illegal immigration and deportations, this new generation of federal judges, many of them appointed by Democrats, clearly, not all of them though, have this weird new idea. And I'm glad you asked that, Sky, because it segues perfectly with the plan here for the next story. Is before we take that break, I want to ask y'all, what exactly do federal judges have the quote unquote authority to just rule on anything and everything? Are there limits? Are there bounds to what they can do? Can they actually, not legally, morally, and legally, I guess, do many of the things that they do, or do they do them and no one stops them or no one says no, which leads the next judge to say, well, if he can do that over there in King County, I can do that over here in Montgomery County. I can do that over here in Jefferson County. I think there's a lot of that. And so that's what we're going to have to ask ourselves is, where is this limit? And they've been kind of priming us with this. Well, President Trump, he's probably going to ignore the judge. He's going to ignore the federal courts. He's going to ignore the judge. And no president's been taken to court as many times as this president is. So there's this big, what are we going to do? Are we going to obey the judge? I said the judge on purpose.
Here come the judge.
Here come the judge. So we gotta discuss this and hash it out. We gotta take a break. We'll be right back. Cowering around because we're afraid somebody's gonna call us a bad name. It is time to save the republic.
You're listening to Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
Every time I get a chance to listen to you, I just think how grateful I am and how much we need you on a national level so more people can hear you.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politician.
What a good day. It's a Tuesday, a terrific Tuesday. Happy Tuesday to you. Let's get out to some of your phone calls. I know some of you are limited on time. Pat, welcome to the program.
Good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning, Pat.
I got on the phone, or got on the car heading to town, and you were talking about the election fraud. That's just one topic that crossed my butt. But you left out a really good example that LBJ, back in the 50s, when he ran for the Senate,
Okay.
he originally lost, but he contested and said that they didn't count the votes right. And another ballot box was found, and surprisingly, all the ballots in that box were for LBJ, and surprisingly, they were all written by the same hand. and so this has been going on for years. And like I told Sky, it's not just the Democrats; they're just better at it than the Republicans.
And this is the LBJ who ended up being president because
Yes.
JFK.
He had a hand in getting JFK assassinated. Yes, sir.
One evil man.
I've heard that.
Yeah.
Was he the which? Well, no, I don't want to ask all those questions. Never mind. I heard something. I'm getting
The answer is yes.
I'm getting my Johnsons mixed up. Maybe. Which was he president when the 6-Day War occurred and all that in the Middle East? Was he president then?
He still was.
He still was.
Yes, he was.
So he was there when the USS Liberty came under attack.
Right. Nixon took office in January of 69.
That rabbit trail, Pat, Sky, that we talk about sometimes and we tell people don't go down because there's no coming back over there. He is down in that same trail, by the way.
Big time.
And referencing your comment on federal judges,
yes, sir.
There is precedent because Biden was told by the Supreme Court he could not do what he was doing with the student loans.
Yes.
He said, "Screw you, I'm going to do it anyway."
Right.
And that's what Trump needs to do. Like recently, some federal judge came out and said that he couldn't do the ballroom. That judge doesn't have the power to do that.
Right.
Trump needs to tell him to take a hike.
Right on.
And
that's the rest of the questions. Yeah, Pat.
I told you a joke one time. What's the difference between God and a federal judge?
I know the answer, but do you want to say it?
Yeah, God doesn't think he's a federal judge. y'all have a blessed day.
Thank you, Pat. No, he's so right about that. It's a mystery to me. It really is, and I know we bring it up on this program a lot, but I think it is educational for all of us because we have expectations for how we think government should work, and we think it works as it should. Many of us learned, our civics from elementary school, high school. We had Saturday morning cartoons. I'm Just a Bill here on Capitol Hill. It's trying to become on. So we have all these ideas of how it should be. I remember when I was first elected to the Alabama House, I thought, man, I'm going to be involved. I'm going to learn stuff. I'm going to listen to these guys. There's going to be debates on these big issues, and one person will say, well, hey, but what about this? And another person will say, well, what about that? And somebody else will say, well, hey, if we do it a little bit differently, we can deal with this and that, or maybe that really doesn't happen. I envision this whole founding fathers kind of.
I've got it. Yeah.
And I know people hate it.
Starry-eyed.
Oh,
and
enthusiastic.
And how long did it take them to knock that out of you, Scott?
Well, we only meet 3 days a week, so it took to the second week.
Oh, that's pretty good. You hung in there.
No,
man.
maybe it probably took a little longer than that. You had to get to an issue where there should be debate, and you see some of the debate start, and you see it shut down, or you see it ignored. So it probably took a few weeks, but it was by the end of the first session, for sure, where you realize, my gosh, this is not how people expect it to be. It's not how people want it to be. And then so you had to go a little further along before I began to realize that judges are easily no better, maybe worse, than legislators or congressmen. Because legislators, at least, and in Alabama, since judges do stand for, they're not as bad as federal judges. But legislators and congressmen and senators, they have to at least listen to the views of some people because, they've got to get reelected. But federal judges, there's some accountability with the voters. And now, look, right. they may have plenty of contacts and special interests, and they may wash all their opponents away with money. All that stuff is true. But federal judges, and I'm not sure this was a mistake by the founding fathers, but when federal judges were given lifetime appointments, the idea was, and somebody can be mad if they don't like it. The idea was that we as a people, as Americans, would appoint people who had honor, who had dignity, and who were believers in Jesus. Oh no! Okay, so half my listeners turned off the phone, off the radio right now. But just follow with me a second if you're still with me. Followers of Jesus who believe that one day they will stand before an almighty God and answer for the things that they do. And I've told you before, a lot of us, we do stupid stuff. We say stupid stuff. We do stupid stuff. We do sinful stuff, stuff we shouldn't do. But usually, when somebody is trying to do what is right before an almighty God, if they're thinking about it, they have time, they've slept on it. Remember the old Thomas Jefferson advice where if you write a letter to somebody, especially if it's one that's a little heated, you should, put it in the drawer and not send it till tomorrow. Read it again tomorrow, then send it and let yourself calm down a little bit. Judges make decisions that they take a little time. They're supposed to ponder this and come up with their quote-unquote opinion. And they write that opinion, and they should be doing that opinion based on, hey, look, I'm going to answer to someone. I'm expected to do what is right. Well, which set of right, Scott? That's an easy answer. It was an easy answer. It was the Christian belief of what is right. Well, Scott, I don't like that Christian belief of what is right. Yes, you do. You do. You do. Even the people who hate the whole idea of religion, they love the tenets of the faith. I promise you, they love the be no respecter of persons. Do you want me to do it like Hinduism, where you get a caste system, where I'm the judge and I look out there and I go, I see that Joe is I don't know the caste, so I'm just going to say Joe's, okay, he's a, what's Harry Potter stuff? People will recognize that. He's
a wizard.
He's a Gryffindor.
Okay.
Or whatever those little categories are. I remember the bad guys are Slytherins, right? That's the snake group. So he's a Griffin or whatever. And, and I see that Sky, who's on the other side of this case, is a Slytherin snake cast.
Oh, no.
Oh, I have my verdict. The higher caste wins. That's the way it works in other places around the world. So when people are like, I don't know if I want you to have any of these principles, any of these values, yes, we do. We do. Most of all that is considered the best of human rights, at least until the last 20 or 30 years, are all Christian values.
Absolutely.
Taking care of the poor, not like I said, not respecting persons. I don't care if you're rich. I don't care if you're poor. Justice is blind. She's got the scales, and she's blindfolded, the whole 9 yards. That is all from that Christian tradition.
Why we swear on the Bible when we testify in court.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes. And so the founders expected us to appoint judges for life, and the appointment was supposed to be like, okay, look, it doesn't matter what Acme Inc. says. It doesn't matter what Elon Musk says. It doesn't matter what George Soros says. It doesn't matter what the president says. You have to do what is right by the Constitution. That's what they expected. That lifetime appointment was to protect them and allow them to do what was right under the Constitution, which is under God's sovereignty.
Okay, so without repercussions from the public, they would be faithful and true to the Constitution, no matter which way the political winds blow.
Correct.
And
to
we
God's
would expect
law
some wisdom
and to the Constitution.
from these judges as well.
Yes. And that's what
they
we
would
thought.
be seasoned. Yes.
Right.
That was the idea.
And what happened was we did not pay attention to the evil nature and the weak nature of mankind. And just as we voters do it now, we think anybody can hold that seat. Oh, well, just let Sally do it. She should be a judge. She was really good in law school. Just let James do it. He should be a judge. I mean, he's a really good. He's a wheeler dealer. His face is on 57 billboards, right here in town. He probably should be a federal judge too. Yeah, but how honest is he? How honest is she? How reasonable is she? Is she an activist, or does she love God and love the Constitution? Well, it doesn't matter. You just make them a judge. They can do it. He can do it. She can do it. They can do it. We can do it. Everybody can do it. I mean, for heaven's sakes, people, we have people who think Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez should be president of the United States. The Democrat Party, I guess they people didn't decide it. The party decided that Kamala Harris should be president of the United States.
Yeah.
They gave us Joe Biden, who doesn't know where he is part of the time, and they knew it.
Yeah.
So this whole idea of any somewhat warm body can hold these positions. Ketanji Jackson Brown.
Well, ever since we won World War XI, anybody could become a judge.
You could be a judge. You could be a congressman.
Sure.
And so now we're paying the price for just letting anybody and everybody become a judge. And I'm going to be honest with you. I shouldn't be this honest with you, Sky.
It's only Tuesday.
A lot of this came from the progressive movement. A guy from Alabama, Hugo Black, who was a very liberal judge.
There's your judge
very
right
liberal.
there.
Those guys ushered in this generation of, it doesn't matter what the Constitution says, this is what I want to do. I am God-like, and I have decided this is right or this is wrong, and I don't care what the law said. I don't care what the Constitution said. I'm going to make it right. Well, they started it, and then it got accelerated after the 60s, and judges were appointed to purposefully change the country. And they knew that was their reason for being there, and that was their goal, and we are paying for the cancer that we have, and I don't know how we're ever going to cut it out. We got to take a break. We'll be back.
Thank you for being there, Scott. Every time I get a chance to listen to you, I just think how grateful I am and how much we need you on a national level so more people can hear you.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politician.
You can learn things, and I appreciate that.
I appreciate that, Fred. Thank you.
But that's true, and I mean that. I'm not being sarcastic. I am serious.
have to stop kowtowing to every little thing that they have said is bad and evil, and they don't get to decide what is right and wrong. I'll bank my money on what God, the creator of the universe, says is right and wrong. It's worked very well for Western society for 2 millennia, and we've got to get with it. Got to fight the fight. We got to get after it. It's ridiculous. I'm just tired of great Americans being ripped to shreds, history going away, and all of us cowering around because we're afraid somebody's going to call us a bad name. It is time to save the republic.
You're listening to Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
Get a chance to listen to you. I just think how grateful I am and how much we need you on a national level so more people can hear you.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politicians.
Welcome back into the program, everybody. I am Scott Beason. Let's go back out to Kathy. Kathy, we've squinched up for time, so we don't have a lot of time here in this one either. But thank you for calling. And I'm just trying to figure out this whole thing down there. And so my understanding is that he would like to move this transmission line 200 yards onto neighboring property that's already been clear cut or already has a road by it or something.
Yes.
I don't know, but 200 yards is not a super long way. Why don't they just agree to have the easement right off that, like an access right off that road that's already there, if that's a public road, or is that a road that's on somebody else's property?
It's on, and it's a dirt road, and it's on the. They said the property is owned by a company. Now I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know which one. Hey,
and I imagine the sticking point is probably that company doesn't want them to use it. But,
well, let me ask you this, Kathy, and I said it yesterday. And look, I promise you, I'm not trying to be on anybody's side. But if a power company, a utility, or whatever has got to go from point A to point B, should they go in a straight line, or should they wiggle around based on? Because if they do this for Mr. Church, are they going to do it for Kathy right down the road?
Well,
are they going to do it for me? 5 miles from there? Are they going to go around my house? I've only got 2 acres, and they're going to go on the back side of mine. Are they going to go around me too?
but the point is, this road is a straight shot, and it's already clear cut. It's already there. They don't have to wiggle around anything. They can just go straight down that road. Because yes, you're right. They could do it to me. They could do it to you. They could take my property. And then, if anybody's going to make money off of selling it access to other companies, it should be the property owner, not Alabama Power.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand why they can't just go on the road that's already there. Why do they have to clear cut his land and make it closer to his house where people?
Do you know how much land? Do you know how much land he has?
A good bit. I don't know how much, but it's a good bit of acreage he has.
Yeah.
And he's already starting to build the house, so it's not like he can build somewhere else.
How close is the house to the power line?
I don't know, but he said he'd be able to see the people coming up down the road.
See, here's the thing, Kathy. I live by a power line, a transmission line. It's a TVA line.
Yeah. Right.
I can tell you the times I've seen anybody from TVA doing anything on that power line. I can count those times. It's less than 10 times, and I have lived where I live for almost 20 years.
But can any other utilities go up and down?
I have no idea. There could be a gas line on them, and I have no idea.
Well, to me, that's the point, is that it's not just Alabama Power that would be going up and down. It is.
Yeah, but the goal of these things is to not be out there all the time. That's why they bury the gas lines. That's why they do it the way they do it. Look, I'm not saying you're wrong, Kathy. I'm just saying that there's way more traffic on the main road. And if it's only 200 yards away, why is it okay 200 yards away, but it's not okay 200 yards into 416 acres? Do you get what I'm saying? At 200 yards, I can hit a pitch. Well, I can hit a 5-iron if I get a good roll, 200 yards, just right there.
Yeah, I understand, but I would want it as far away from my house as possible too. So
yeah, I get it.
And if it's already there, why take his property and then make money off taking his property?
Well, just go around, I guess. But then you got to do it for everybody. It's my thing. I'm trying to look at it like I'm the regular guy down the road, and I don't know if they'll go around me. We got to take a break. We'll be back.
Every time I get a chance to listen to you, I just think how grateful I am and how.
Welcome back into the program, everybody. Let's get out to Charles the First. I know he's got somewhere to be as well. We're setting a bad standard here, but we will do that. Charles the First of Dewey, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me on. I was going to talk about federal judges, but I want to talk about the easement if you don't care.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm trying to, and I didn't mean to. I got jammed up against the break there, and I wanted to. If Kathy had anything else to say, I wanted her to say, because I'm trying to figure it out. So go ahead and tell me what you think.
Okay, you're going to love what I'm telling you. I'm in the midst of a data center problem right here by my house now.
Uh-oh.
Somerville, Alabama, and you can look it up in the Hartsville Enquirer yesterday's story, okay? Yesterday's story.
Okay.
What happened is there's a Bitcoin data center wanting to go in, okay? And by a huge majority, the people of Somerville did not want it. Have you got me?
Yes.
And they did what they thought when they had their meeting, would put a moratorium on it. But lo and behold, Chairman Long, that's the Morgan County chairman of the commissioners, okay? He says, nope, I know y'all don't want to or whatever, but there's nothing we can do about it. There's no zoning in the county, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So Charles gets on the comments of the Hartsville Enquirer, and I write a copy and paste to send to Chairman Long. You'll love it when you read it. It says, Article 1, 2, 35, and 36, I believe, protect remember, Declaration of Independence is in our Constitution. And it says it's not just for words, that it actually means it, and that it's completely irrevocable, that this will be put before any other thing. You got me?
Okay.
So,
You're kind of scratching out a little bit, Charles, at first.
oh, I'm sorry.
There you
so
go.
I said we come before the Bitcoin place. You get me?
Yes, we're the
And
people. Yes.
We're the people, and so that in every instance that has to do with this, you will not give them easements. You will not do anything that helps them in doing this, because the Alabama Constitution tells you, as a form of government and all government in the state, the person's life, liberty, and property come before any other thing.
Okay.
That places it before Bitcoin or anything. You'll love it when you read it. So I've got upvotes, and a lot of people I think are copying it, to send there. Now, real quick, I guess about U.W. Clemens, one of your favorite names. I'm being sarcastic, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Federal judges can't just pick and choose if they want to do something. So let me give you an example. Remember the corn dog? The corn dog truck wrecked between Decatur and Athens. And the two sheriffs split all the froze corn dogs that would have went to waste.
Yes.
They bought them for $500.
Yes.
And they turned around because our Morgan County sheriff got $67,000 a year, because it said when you took them to the chain gang, any money that was not used to feed the prisoners could go to the sheriff, put it in their pocket.
That's the way it had been for years, yes.
Yes. So this kind of got ended because, for one thing, the jail was just a little bitty crowded part of the courthouse that was packed. And I know you just don't care about whether the prisoners get packed or not.
Right.
But it's not the right thing that they're, by not feeding persons no matter what, putting money in their pocket. They were giving them a corn dog and unsweetened Kool-Aid, okay?
Yeah.
And putting the money in their pocket. So Clemens couldn't do anything. But, Charles knew some people's girlfriends of people that was in that jail.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that you can write habeas corpus to Judge Clemens.
Okay.
And you can say, we are not eating anything, and these are all our problems.
Okay.
And that when Judge Clemens gets your pro se habeas corpus, he can, and the thing that you want to do is have Judge Clemens come walk through the jail.
Okay.
Well, guess what? As you know happened, Judge Clemens came. They couldn't feed corn dogs anymore. They had to build a new jail, which worked out great for them because they could get federal money for housing federal prisoners in a place that was capable of taking them in.
Okay.
Get so much for federal prisoners, which actually paid for the jail.
Okay.
But he couldn't have done anything without, otherwise if they were not incarcerated, they couldn't have pro se habeas corpus, need no lawyer. Got me?
Yep.
But lawyers have to put big money and file something for the judge to be able to. They can't just put their mouth in it.
I got
Somebody has to come along and make them.
Hey, what
Anyway,
was wrong with? I know you got to go, but I mean, I go and spend money sometimes buying corn dogs. And except when I get corn dogs, I usually get a Coke, which I know is not good for me, and I don't like the high fructose corn syrup. But so corn dogs and unsweetened Kool-Aid sounds about, because I get the grape slushy with Nerds too.
Well, it was breakfast. It was breakfast corn dog, dinner corn dog, supper corn dog, kind of a problem there. If you get me there,
I really don't really get you because I don't really understand.
I know.
You know how I am about it, but
you shouldn't be able to pocket money because you have
no. I'm with you on that. 1,000% I'm with you on that. I don't think you should profit from not feeding them corn dogs. But if you don't have the profit, the money, and you're like, hey, look, if you get put to jail in my county, you're going to get peanut butter and jelly, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And if you don't like peanut butter and jelly, then don't come to my jail.
Take your business elsewhere.
Because you're not going to die. Yeah. I mean, there was the guy a few years ago that did 1,800 calories a day of Twinkies, Sky.
Woo.
And I can't remember if he did it for 30 days or 90 days. That's all he ate, Twinkies.
Did he survive?
Oh, yeah. All his blood levels were like perfect at the end. Because he only did the 1,800 calories. And his theory was, he was a real doctor.
Oh, he burned it.
His theory was your body can basically run off trash as long as you don't overload it.
Gotcha.
And that is what a bunch of our health problems is. Even for people who eat healthier, they eat way more calories than their body needs. It starts storing it off as fat. That starts causing things not to work right. So
efficiency.
Yeah,
there's a lot of it.
They used to also live off bread and water. Y'all remember that?
Yeah,
heard
Scott,
that.
if I can say something, one little thing.
You know, right? You can.
I'm with you. I'm with you about all that. My only thing now, as you well know, are the people that are mentally challenged.
Yes.
That can't even speak for themselves.
I agree with you.
You know, that is me. That is completely me. And doing the correct right thing.
I know it is.
You know what I mean? Like doing the correct right thing.
Well, I try to tell people, look, if you got somebody, Charles, who you're looking out for is people who basically, now look, I know they don't probably have it. Maybe they've got some other condition. I don't know all the conditions. But someone who's right on the edge of Down syndrome, being in the main population of prison, and they just... They don't have any idea, and that's who you're looking out for, and you should be commended for that.
Well, and I'm not trying to get commended, but I want everybody to know I am for the death penalty when necessary, okay?
Yes, sir.
I am not. I am for doing the right thing and getting $67,000 because you used it by not feeding someone, and I might take some okra and tomatoes to that jail, and all it's done is give money in the pockets of the
there was a terrible policy. You can't incentivize people not to do something. That's why you shouldn't. I mean, we shouldn't do that in any way. You're right. Absolutely.
And one more thing.
All right.
There are so many people that have to do with the power company that are in the legislature. Remember I told you that?
Yep.
And
Oh, really?
I believe that the power company people have weaseled these little retirees to run so that they can be in there to do and give themselves powers of eminent domain like years ago that they used to use when something new like a railroad or anything would come through. Well, now we're having that happen. And listen, I've got to tell you, a big part of the reason this is happening is because there is a conglomeration of BlackRock, Goldman Sachs, and J.P. Morgan right now that you will be amazed if I told you, okay?
Oh, no, I know a little bit about what you're talking about. Hey, Charles the First, we got to roll, brother.
Anyway,
be careful.
Thanks a lot. Take care.
Absolutely. Who do we got? We got Wynn on federal judges next.
Coming up.
All right, let's take that break and then have him. He'll have that whole segment right there, or the start of that segment. A lot of stuff to do. We're still trying to get to the bottom of this right-of-way thing or whatever. I don't know. All right.
There's a lot of publicity going up about it.
I'll speak my piece on the other side. We'll be back.
Listening to the Scott Beason show, you can learn things. And I appreciate that.
I appreciate that, Fred. Thank you.
But that's true, and I mean that. I'm not being sarcastic. I am serious.
We have to stop kowtowing to every little thing that they have said is bad and evil, and they don't get to decide what is right and wrong. I'll bank my money on what God, the creator of the universe, says is right and wrong. It's worked very well for Western society for 2 millennia, and we've got to get with it. Got to fight the fight. We got to get after it. It's ridiculous. I'm just tired of great Americans being ripped to shreds, history going away, and all of us cowering around because we're afraid somebody's going to call us a bad name. It is time to save the republic.
You're listening to Alabama Unfiltered Radio with Scott Beason.
Every time I get a chance to listen to you, I just think how grateful I am and how much we need you on a national level so more people can hear you.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politicians.
Welcome back into the program, everybody. This is Alabama Unfiltered Radio. Let's go out to Win. Win, welcome to the program. Thank you for your patience. Happy Tuesday to you.
Yeah, happy Tuesday to you.
Thank you.
I wanted to answer that question you had about federal courts and getting involved in elections. And
Yes, sir.
just to give you my background, I helped Barry Hooper run for Chief Justice back in 1994, and was involved in that lawsuit.
Oh, with Judge Hooper Sr.?
Yes.
Oh, wow. That was an interesting time back then.
Yeah. Well, I wrote a book about it.
Oh, you did? What's the name of the book? I bet I've seen it.
Courting Votes in Alabama.
Clever.
Courting. That was a nice
good.
way to say it, wasn't it?
Double entendre there.
So you know more about this probably than most people. So tell us a little bit about that election, if you have time. When, I mean, there were shenanigans back then, were there not?
Yeah, of course. And I think in every election there are.
Yes.
But the problem, the reason the federal courts got involved, and I remember I was in the Mobile District Court,
Okay.
Southern District, and I forget the judge's name, federal judge, and the argument of the other side, because the problem was these absentee ballots that had never been counted before. They were unwitnessed and unnotarized. And those supporting the incumbent, Chief Justice Sonny Hornsby, wanted those ballots counted because they figured more Democrats would vote absentee ballot than Republican.
Yeah. He's just looking at the stats.
170 votes between them.
Right.
So anyway, they got a state court judge in Montgomery to say, yeah, these should be counted. So Hooper and his lawyers had to go to court in Mobile, federal district court. Sat there and he said, look, I get it. There's garden variety fraud out there. Somebody, does something, votes twice somehow, whatever. That happens. And I, as a federal judge, cannot get involved in that. But if it's a systemic attack on the election system, like where you're changing the rules after the election, then that's an attack, a constitutional attack on the election. I can get involved. That case went all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court. They denied cert. The 11th Circuit said, yeah, this is wrong. You can change the rules before an election, but not after an election. And so they upheld the federal district court in Mobile, and that was the precedent that led to Bush's victory in 2000.
I had heard some of that. Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was the principle the U.S. Supreme Court relied on. They said they were counting the Chads in a different way than they had in the past down in Florida. And they said they were changing the system. Therefore, we can get involved. This is not a normal fraud by an individual, whatever. It was a systemic attack. That's the difference.
So how does that affect, like, when we went to the 2020 and the United States Supreme Court denied the claim by the state of Texas and a bunch of other states that said, hey, look, they're cheating up in Pennsylvania and these places. This affects us, which I thought the court should take because they're commissioned to deal with arguments between the states primarily. Was the argument at that time well, I mean, they cheat all the time. They've been cheating like this for a long time, so it's not like they're changing the rules. Was that part of that? Because I'm trying to figure out what we're going to look at in the future.
I think there were lots of problems with 2020 and the challenges to that election because an individual voter in, say, Pennsylvania, the Republican voter, could have gone to court. It didn't take Trump. Trump didn't have to go to court.
Okay.
Anybody could have gone to court. Claimed fraud. The issue is, do they have the evidence?
Right.
And so I'll give you an example. I remember watching Fox News and seeing Sidney Powell, that attorney, the female attorney, Juliana get up.
Yeah, the Kraken. It's all about to happen. It's all yes.
Release the Kraken. Yeah. And I thought, oh my gosh, that's it. If they have that evidence, Trump won.
Okay.
But then my question is, why would Fox News settle for nearly $1 billion? I mean, surely they had plenty of money to hire lawyers and investigators to check that out.
Mm-hmm.
And all they had to prove was they had a reasonable basis to believe that maybe this had happened.
Right.
But they lost that lawsuit. They settled it, so they clearly didn't have the evidence.
Yeah, but what did they settle? What did they end up
Oh.
settling for, though?
Oh, $787 million, something like that.
Is that really how much it ended up being? I didn't remember that, but I'll take your word for it.
It would have been worth tens of millions of dollars of lawyers' fees to try to prove innocence or at least reasonable belief on that case.
Right.
They apparently didn't think they could do it. So,
Yeah.
because they got plenty of money, right?
Isn't it weird to you though? Like, so they settle that one, and then the voting machine companies end up pushing that the My Pillow guy, and then at the last minute, that case just goes poof and goes away after they've convinced Americans that the My Pillow guy Lindell is terrible and was a liar, and then when push really comes to shove, they like sell the company or dissolve the company or whatever happens, and that one goes away. It's weird to me how this works.
I don't know about that case. Lindell was involved in claiming there was this massive fraud by Dominion voting machines. But
Right.
I don't know that anything shady happened. I don't know the details.
Yeah, I don't know either. Well, Wynn, I appreciate it, man. I'd never heard that detail. I should have read your book, shouldn't I? About what exactly happened. It didn't?
But I'll tell you this. Some of the stuff you've been saying about federal judges,
Yes, sir.
I said in my book. That was published in 1999. And I've heard nobody since then say the things I was saying about how, you can have a partisan judge, whether they're Republican or Democrat. All you have to do is insert their opinion,
Right.
their personal opinion, their religious opinion, whatever, into the case, and, they're free to do that.
Yeah.
And you can't do a thing about it. You can impeach. You can't even impeach them for that. So I was saying that, 20-something years ago, and I appreciate the fact that you would say that, because not many people are willing.
If I had read your book in '99, Wynn, I would be more radical than I am now.
Well, by the way, we met years ago in the legislature when you were senator, because I was Roy Moore's administrative director of the legal division of AOC, and I had to work on that whole immigration law problem where the state of Alabama got sued.
Yep.
It was your bill that was you sponsored it.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, we met. You probably don't remember me.
Well, I hope I was decently nice.
Of course you were.
Wynn, I appreciate you, buddy.
You were
God
on the
bless.
same side.
Call us anytime, my friend.
Thanks a lot.
Hey, thank you. Interesting.
How about that?
Yeah, so
nothing new under the sun.
The rest of that title, in case you're wondering, is Courting Votes in Alabama When Lawyers Take Over a State's Politics, written by Winthrop E. Johnson. Published in 1998.
His friends just call him Win.
Win. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Nice guy.
People don't get, I mean, that was 1994 when the Chief Justice race was being decided by, 180 votes, couple hundred votes. And the Democrats were like, hey, we got a whole stack of ballots.
Wow, look what we found.
They're all, they're not signed, whatever.
Yeah.
And people just don't know how many times that happens. We had a Senate race. I'm not going to say who it is in case I have some of the facts wrong, but the gist is the same. Where this challenger guy, a non-establishment guy, wins. Okay?
We can't have that.
He wins. He wins like every precinct, except there's one still out. And that one comes back late. Something happened. They couldn't transmit the data back to the courthouse, so they had to bring the ballots back. in the
guess.
back of a deputy's car or whatever. And lo and behold, the establishment guy just won overwhelmingly. From the precinct that couldn't get its act together, and he beat the non-establishment guy. It's fascinating.
It's just amazing how these things.
Well,
the
it
math
does.
is incredible how it comes out that way almost every single time.
It really is, and what it really showed was the people of that precinct just they just loved that guy to the point where they were probably standing in line, hundreds of people standing in line when the polling place closed in the pouring rain. Yeah. And they had to let them all vote, and then something happened, probably a lightning strike, and they had to bring those ballots in.
Yeah,
and when they counted them, he had just enough to win by 10 or 20. And that's the way it is.
It's a November miracle. Yeah, they loved him more than was mathematically, statistically impossible.
Yes, and
that's a lot of love.
And I didn't know enough about it at the time. I was just like, "Geez, Louise, you got to be kidding me!" And I just filed it away. But now I would want to know, okay, what was the percentage turnout in that box?
Yeah, like 200%.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, everybody else was voting at 50%, but this town, every single voter and some extras, you just can't. I think sometimes when people are listening to the show, Sky, they're like, man, Sky is so adamant about this. And he just, because I have seen crazy stuff.
Well, when you live it,
right,
it tends to stay with you a little more emotionally over time.
And you struggle because you're like, why can't people see this? Because they have, Scott, they haven't seen what you've seen.
They didn't live it.
They don't, exactly. Because in our minds, it's like, that can't happen. Oh, no, it can. It absolutely can.
But it really do, in real time.
And they say, well, wouldn't that would take a bunch of people to pull that off. Well, does it really? The guy with the extra box and maybe and I don't even know if they brought those in the deputy's car. They might have been, in Joe Blow's car. Hey, who's got the extra box of ballots? Oh, I don't know. You mean the ones like in 1994 where they weren't validated and signed and all that? Yeah. Give us one of those. Yeah. He's got the extra box in the back of his car.
Happen to have a case or two, just in case.
Just lying around.
Case. Lying around.
Let's take a break. We'll be back. Welcome back into the program, everybody. Alabama Unfiltered Radio. I'm trying to find this piece of property down in, I guess it was Shelby County. Isn't that the story?
Yes, Calera area. But it's very difficult. It's much publicity and press as this story's receiving. Getting the facts is a little difficult, I've found.
It's a little hard. But look, all these county websites, you know what's funny, Sky? If you're a hunter, I don't know if you hunt, but like my buddies have all these little hunting apps, so they can see.
Oh, yeah.
And they just pull up these things and it says, oh, this is a 20-acre parcel. It's owned by Sky. You just go right to it at all. I mean, it just works right there on their phone, like super easy. Well, what about the one over? I'm hunting right here. Who's got that right beside me? Because I might ask them if I can turkey hunt right there in case the turkey goes. And it just tells you, oh, Scott owns that. But you go to these county maps, it's a freaking act of Congress to get the stupid thing to work right. And they act like all this information is, we got to keep this down home or something. And you're like, why do the government websites not work like the app that's on your phone? You get what I'm saying?
I have an idea. Yes, I do.
And they're probably paying out the wazoo to Chucklehead Computer Inc. to run these cruddy working programs that they have. But anyway, I'm trying to find it. So it's back to this issue, and it kind of goes back to a little bit of what we were talking about earlier in the day. I don't know that I'm right, okay? I don't. But I do believe in treating everybody the same. That, I think, is very, very important. I'm not for doing special things for somebody because they happen to be poor, okay? If they were in a court of law between a poor guy and a middle-class guy, a poor guy and a rich guy. I'm not going to rule with the poor guy to prove that I'm good to the poor.
That is a biblical principle.
Yes, I'm going to try to rule the right way. My blinders are on. My blindfold is on. I don't know if you're poor, rich, white, black, green, orange, whatever. I try to put myself in the situation and say, okay, how would it be if I was there? And in this land situation, I get it. A lot of people are quick to look at it like, well, so you got Alabama Power on one side trying to put a power line in. I'm still not sure where the power line's going. It might be going to a data center. I don't know. And again, I said yesterday, okay, fine. If we want to say, look, don't run any power line to a data center and we're totally against it, and if that's our stand, okay, great. I'm okay with it. Do away with it. But in this situation that's getting all the news, I just find it interesting. It's a little bit of Craig's Law, Sky, because we've seen multiple stories. People have talked about it. People have called about it. And what was your impression of this property? And look, again, it doesn't matter, really. But my impression of the property was, hey, this guy's been struggling, and he finally found him a little piece of land. And, you're basically thinking Ma and Pa Ingalls are about to live out here, and they've saved up. They have 5 little acres, and doggone it, Alabama Power's about to put a high-tension power line just right through it. I won't even have to turn on my lights because every light in my house is going to glow from the ambient electromagnetic radiation, right?
Yes, most of the articles have been written with deep sympathy for Mr. Wynn. Yes.
Absolutely. And then so we search around, and it's a 400 plus, almost 500 acre parcel, which doesn't change right or wrong, but it does change the perception of the story. And a lot of us are automatically like, well, we don't like the big company because I don't like paying my bill every month. And by the way, my bill was freaking high as a kite last month. So if anybody should be ill about it, it should be me. Like I'm trying to figure out how in the world did me and Lori, it's just us, spend so much power? Like what is running in my house constantly? But still, that's a different thing, okay? So then you move along and we get, well, just move it off the edge. It's always asking. I get that. But so think about the power lines coming. So they're building power over here on your right. You're driving over there on the passenger side of the car. They got a power plant, and the power line's going to come right across your lap, right across where your seatbelt's in your lap. And you're like, hey, I don't want that happening. I think you should take that power line and move it up on the dash of my car. Okay, great. All right, so the thing was coming straight across. It goes straight across the passenger side of your car, gets right to your gear shifter, your console, takes a hard right, goes up to your dash, goes across the dash behind the speedometer, goes over to the left-hand side, comes right out the vent, goes right down your door, gets back in line, and heads straight on out the left of your car, right to your left shoulder.
What a mess.
Well, that's what we're asking to do, right? And everybody's like, well, yeah, it's just 200 yards. Okay, what do you want to do with the person's property that's called the passenger seat? Do you want the thing to come from the power plant, and then it's going to take a hard right at the passenger seat and go to the dash? Now it's going to skip the passenger seat and your seat, come back to your out the vent, and go back and be back online again. Is that what we're going to do? So if we do both of those, well, wouldn't it be more fair if the person to my left, I know he's outside of my car, she's outside of my car, can't we go around hers too? Well, no, I only care about my seat. Well, but why can't I go, the lady that's in the car beside me, why can't we go around her seat too? Well, we could. Well, let's just move hers too. So now we got 3 sets. But what about all the people who own property along the dash? Well, they're just no-name people. We don't even know who they are. It might be a company. Well, is that a big company, a little company? Is it an LLC? Is it a company that Sky and I started? I mean, it's still a company. Well, I don't know. I don't know about that one. Well, what about all the other people on the way? And that's my thing. I get it. Our gut reaction is, well, just move it, big company.
To where?
But to where? Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. And that's why I said yesterday at the start, if you're just scrapping the whole thing, okay, great. That's a totally different debate. But if we move it for Scott, are we going to move it for Sky too? Are we going to move it? What about the person who literally does only own 20 acres and it's going to run by them? Because 20 acres is a lot, by the way, especially for people for people in subdivisions. They're like, hey, I own a quarter acre. Wait, we need 20 acres. That's a freaking Ponderosa. But if a person owns, what if they own 5 acres?
Yeah, where's the line?
You just start moving it around again.
Public sympathy, is that the difference?
Yeah, you and I probably can't get a news story. So that's what I'm asking. I'm not against anybody. Everybody these all might be the greatest people in the world. I get it. I need to know the solution on the other side. And the solution's got to be a little deeper than we'll just move it off this one parcel. Because when you move it off this one parcel, can you move it for anybody else? And the answer is probably going to be no. So if you can't move it for anybody else, then why are we moving it for one? That's the sticking point. And I just don't want us, who are trying our best to think about these things, to fall in the trap of, hey, I'm emotionally stirred up about this one, but there's not an answer to the next one. And you know what we do usually, Sky? Legislature does it all the time. They'll come out, they fix this problem. They started 2 other problems, and then they might try to fix the second one they started, and then eventually they're like, stop it. We can't fix all of them.
Unintended consequences.
And I'm like, well, why
building up.
Why did you start this when you did?
Right.
Well, I was trying to do right. No, you weren't.
No.
So anyway, if somebody can explain what we do with everyone else, and sometimes legislatures will do this one. Well, no one else has complained.
Right.
Because they didn't know they could.
That's who gets the building. Right.
We'll be back.
Every time I get a chance to listen to you, I just think how grateful I am and how much we need you on a national level so more people can hear you.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politicians.
you can learn things. And I appreciate that.
I appreciate that, Fred. Thank you.
But that's true, and I mean that. I'm not being sarcastic. I am serious.
We have to stop kowtowing to every little thing that they have said is bad and evil, and they don't get to decide what is right and wrong. I'll bank my money on what God, the creator of the universe, says is right and wrong. It's worked very well for Western society for 2 millennia, and we've got to get with it. Got to fight the fight. We got to get after it. It's ridiculous. I'm just tired of great Americans being ripped to shreds, history going away, and all of us cowering around because we're afraid somebody's going to call us a bad name. It is time to save the republic.
You're listening to Alabama Unfiltered.
Welcome back into the program, everybody. This is Alabama Unfiltered Radio. Sky and I ran across. We finally looked up what we were referencing, and
Leviticus.
It is Leviticus. It's Leviticus 19:15. Ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment. So you don't get to be partial. You can't do unfair when you're judging. Thou shalt not respect the person of the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty, but in righteousness shalt thou judge thy neighbor. And I was telling Scott in the break, we probably should put this in the judicial oath of office. Number one, if you have people say, I'm not swearing to that, that's biblical stuff. Okay, then you don't get to be a judge in the state of Alabama, because even if you don't care about any of the supernatural, any of eternity, anything that has to do with God, fine, that's your thing. I'm not mad at you for it.
No.
But you should, if you're going to be a judge, you should be able to swear that I'm not going to be partial to the poor or the rich.
And those words are exactly describing impartiality. Nor shall you favor the poor just because they're poor.
Right.
Or the rich because they're powerful.
Right.
And it's also the greatest argument I know against social justice.
That's a good point, Scott.
It goes right in that same
Because social
pocket.
justice is not justice.
No, it's favoring
social
somebody
justice is
because-
favoritism. You're right.
Yeah, well, this guy's a perpetual victim, so we have to decide. No, let's go on the merits of the case.
Right.
Not something that happened 300 years ago, or not something that is common to his race, gender, sex, whatever. Just the merits of the case.
Well, do you remember during the Summer of Love when people were looting businesses?
Oh, very well. It was mostly peaceful looting.
It was
Scott.
mostly peaceful looting, and mostly people were in there, because they didn't have bread. They couldn't. They were stealing bread and formula for their
reported.
babies and stuff like
Yeah,
that.
I remember
And here
that.
was the thing that y'all didn't get when y'all saw it. There was bread inside that big screen TV.
Oh, it was under the arm. And
It
you
was
couldn't
under,
see
you couldn't see
that's
it because they were using the TV to screen, because people were trying to steal their bread, and the TV
Right.
was keeping people from seeing the bread.
It was a shield TV.
Yes, that's what it was.
Okay.
They threw the TV away when they finally made it free with the bread, and then stealing the shoes. I mean, you got to have shoes. You know what I'm saying? Now, there were some questions, okay? There were some questions that the high-dollar shoes were being stolen and the cheap shoes were apparently left. But that was only because the looters wanted shoes that would last. And they knew that cheap shoes wouldn't last, so they got the expensive shoes and left the poor people's shoes in the store.
Okay.
That's what it was. I mean, it was all about righteousness and virtue.
You watch too much CNN.
We got to take a break. We'll be back.
Every time I get a chance to listen to you, I just think how grateful I am and how much we need you on a national level so more people can hear you.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama recovering politicians.
Welcome back into the program, everybody. This is the third half of Alabama Unfiltered Radio. I'm Scott Beason. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching the program and listening to the program. You can find it over at YouTube. I'm about to sneeze, guy. I can tell it's coming. Right sinus.
Okay, you gonna be okay? Okay, now I got you killed. Now you ungo.
Wasn't even off.
That was a technical term. Ungo that.
Oh man! Wow!
Wow!
It's still burning.
Goodness.
Right there on the right. My eyes are red.
What did you do, man?
I don't know. I gotta quit.
Oh, you can see that on YouTube.
Yeah, you can. I'm like,
All right.
you should probably see the spit coming out. With my right eye's closed, my left eye's closed up. Here's a couple of things.
That's a good reason to tune in on the YouTube.
On the
stream.
YouTube.
The things I see, you can now see too.
Have you seen? Apparently, we've got some issues in the with the Iranian deal.
Oh, really?
I know
Is it war on, war off? What's the deal?
We're back to war on.
Straight open, straight closed.
Wax on. War on. We're off.
Okay.
So it looks like there has been a little problem. It was on for a second. Here it is. The U.S. ambassador to Turkey is deeply concerned. This is a Fox News story from 2 hours ago, Sky.
Breaking news.
Deeply concerned. Now, what would the U.S. ambassador to Turkey be deeply concerned about that happened in the last few hours or maybe yesterday?
My goodness, I
well, you
imagine.
would think it, because the headline that I found, I know it won't let me go back, was U.S. ambassador greatly concerned because somebody struck an ally's airbase.
Not those guys.
Yeah, so I thought, doggone it, Iran is just breaking the deal again. And they're striking like a Saudi Arabian airbase or a Qatarian airbase or a Turkish airbase, something like that, right?
One might assume that.
Well, then I thought, it's probably not that. It's probably our greatest ally, Israel, is attacking somewhere in Lebanon again because the president said, hey, dude, what are y'all doing? We're having a conflict over here with Iran. Why are y'all messing around with Lebanon? They have been giving you...
work out a deal.
We're trying to get a deal here, and y'all are making it look like y'all are trying to take over the whole Middle East, right? Right? Well, it wasn't that. See, Scott, I told you.
You jumped to conclusions, didn't you?
And I have to confess that it was not Israel striking... Well, it was Israel, but
Dang it.
They struck freaking Syria.
What'd they do?
Were they mad at Syria now?
You need a scorecard to keep up. I can't keep up with it.
U.S. Ambassador to Turkey Tom Barak said the United States is deeply concerned that Israeli airstrikes on the Abu al-Duhar air base in Syria constitute an unnecessary escalation that does not advance regional stability. So think about what we have here. This is mind-blowing for people who don't really know what all the agendas are, okay? And I barely know. But think about this.
I'm trying.
We're over here. The President of the United States is trying to bring an end to this conflict with Iran, right?
Correct.
And Iran says, dudes, we got to have nuclear weapons. I mean, you don't have to give them to us, but we really want nuclear weapons. And the president's like, no, you can't have nuclear weapons. And they're like, we got to have nuclear weapons. He's like, no, we want to have nuclear weapons. No, you can't have nuclear weapons. Well, why do you want them? Well, we got to have them because Israel's got them. And Israel hates us. You can't trust them. This is Iran talking. This is not Scott talking. And Iran's like, you can't trust those guys. They can't sit there with nuclear weapons. When it's clear they want to wipe out everybody else in the Middle East, Trump's people are like, that is not true. They're just trying to get along, and you guys are always shooting stuff at them all the time, and they're just trying to be peaceful. And they're like, no, that's not true. That is not true. They go out and do crazy stuff all the time. And they're like, no, they're not. And then so Iran's like, look what they're doing in Lebanon. What did the Lebanese do to them? Especially in Iran, to their benefit, especially those Christian communities. What did those Christians do to them? Now, we don't like the Christians much either, but what did the Christians do to them? And so the Trump administration, this is me projecting it, okay? I'm not in the meetings. It's like, I don't know what to say. Hey, y'all cut it out. Cut it out, Israel.
Knock it off for just a moment.
Yeah, just long enough for us to get out of this deal. So Israel goes and strikes freaking Syria. You're like, what is Syria doing to you? In a statement to Fox News, a senior Israeli official said highly sensitive intelligence was shared with the United States in advance of the strike. It's always, hey, shh, don't tell anybody. But we know that they're up to bad stuff, and we're going to strike them, okay? You can trust us. Yeah, but you kind of fibbed to us on the whole Iranian thing to start with. Yeah, but this time you can trust us because we don't have. Why are you having to? We don't know that. Why are you having to tell us that? Well, we're the only ones who know. But we're telling you, we're the only ones. But didn't you tell us that with Iraq? Well, that was different. Okay, so this time we're the only ones who know. Okay, fine. Well, what about Afghanistan? Well, we're the in Libya? Well, we're the only ones. You can trust us this time. Egypt. How about Egypt? Remember the whole Arab? Yeah, but this time we're the only ones who know. So Iran goes and strikes Syria. So I, being the investigator that I am for y'all.
Wait, who struck Syria?
Israel.
Right. Okay. Just wanted to get the game.
And for all of us listening, like, wait a minute, I didn't even know they were sideways with Israel. I thought they were kind of okay with this new guy. Because remember, they got rid of Assad. So I went to AI and said, hey, did Israel clandestinely help install the new leader of Syria?
Oh, this ought to be good.
No. Israel did not clandestinely help install Syria's current leader. Blah, 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 blah,
However,
al-Sharai rose to power, leading an Islamist rebel offensive that rapidly toppled the regime of Bashar al-Assad in December. Far from installing him, Israel responded to the fall of the Assad regime with deep skepticism, launching extensive military airstrikes on Syrian military assets and seizing buffer zones in strategic territory in the Golan Heights. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. The first sentence said that that they didn't help him get in power, but they did launch extensive military airstrikes on Syrian military assets. So was that after? So I asked the second question, which is always the mistake. You have to cross-examine him. Right. I said, so Israel did not help cause the things that forced Assad out. Okay, you didn't help the new guy in, but did you help the old guy out? Which is the same thing, Sky. It's
right,
the same thing.
Phrasing it differently.
Yeah, if you kill the old king, you're kind of helping the new king get in, right?
What did AI respond with that?
Well, remember, it started with no on the first answer, right?
Yeah, they always do. When you ask your questions, the answer is always no. That's an automatic.
Correct.
It's the however.
Here's the second one. Yes.
Oh.
Israel did heavily, though indirectly, help cause the conditions that forced Assad out of power.
All right. Good job, counselor. Way to go.
Listen to this. While Israel did not fund or plan the rebel offensive, we didn't have anything to do with it. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu publicly claimed partial credit for the regime's collapse. This is NPR. Israel caused a structural chain reaction by systematically destroying Assad's external lifelines.
I'm impressed you got that much out of AI. I really am. That's about the best I've ever heard.
I tell you, it is.
As far as breaking them down and getting the facts.
Getting them to get to the second. And here's the thing, Sky. The second answer comes from YouTube, the France 24 news site. That's a respected site.
Right.
NPR, that's number 2, National Public Radio. Reuters, and then some publication called The Conversation. So it had that answer when it told me no, when I said clandestine. But see, you got to ask the lawyer ball questions.
That's right. You
Oh,
got to know how
no.
to ask them, too. It's not enough to ask the question. You got to know how to ask.
Yes. Scott did not clandestinely sneak in there to the refrigerator and get the last of the Bluebell ice cream out last night. He did not.
Right.
Yeah, but did he sneak in there? Well, yeah.
It's all in the vernacular.
Oh, my gosh. So that's what we've got. So we've got Israel striking Syria while we're trying to work out a deal. You got Iran sitting over there going, what the crap? We can't be unarmed. Now, look, do I think they're the good guys? I do not. But I fully understand their argument of, hey, we're not going to be weak in the region, you know? It is a mess.
It's almost like there's entities in the Middle East that want to perpetuate war.
Well, our greatest ally does not want any of this to stop. And every time it gets close, lo and behold, they have some new intel. They got to go strike somebody.
Yeah, they keep sabotaging the talks and the progress. I just don't understand why, Scott.
We got to take a break. I got to blow my nose and quit sneezing. We'll be back.
Every time I get a chance to listen to you, I just think how grateful I am and how much we need you on a national level so more people can hear you.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politicians.
This is Alabama Unfiltered Radio. I'm Scott Beason, and thank you for listening to the program. Let's go out to Roque on Tour. Roque on Tour, welcome in.
Come in there, Roque on Tour. Are you there?
Did I lose him?
Yeah.
He's all lit
Oh,
up.
there he is. What's up, Roque on Tour?
Hey, good morning. The mute button is undefeated.
There we go.
Hey, first of all, I appreciate you, Scott. You make it look so easy. Doing what you do is not easy, but you do it so well. It's like professionals who make sports look so easy that the guy sitting on the couch goes, you know, I could do that.
Well, I appreciate you saying that, man. Thank you very much.
Now, with that said, I do have a small complaint.
Okay.
The Middle Eastern, the melee in the Middle East is nothing to sneeze at, brother.
That's fair. That is fair.
He scores.
I thought it was just maybe some Middle Eastern sand blowing into the studio that was making me sneeze, but man, that right sinus was on fire.
Yeah, just make sure it's not ricin.
Yeah, I thought about that.
There are certain groups not to make angry. That is for sure.
Yeah, don't get too close to that microphone.
Yeah.
Exactly. So just calling in to say, there really is nothing new under the sun. You started off the program talking about the guy who was taking credit for the quote-unquote voting way of getting around and declaring a national emergency.
Yes, sir.
And running around calling it his idea. And this is not meant to be a gotcha by any means, but see if this sounds familiar.
Okay.
As we talk about nothing new under the sun, and if you don't know history, you need to repeat it. A political group that was founded to be a patriotic club turns to partisan politics, mobilizing working-class voters to counter elite political groups.
Okay.
Campaigns on expanding voting rights, integrates massive waves of immigrants, gets embedded in government to pull funds off of the government, which they can then turn around to provide an informal welfare system where they offer food, jobs, and housing in exchange for blocks of votes.
Okay.
Does this all sound familiar in today's vernacular?
Yeah.
It does. Who are we talking about?
Tammany Hall.
I knew it. I was going to say that's exactly what they did. Pull them right off the boat. Literally thousands and thousands of new voters.
They're repeating the playbook, and it was the Democrats who used Tammany Hall for their power.
Mm-hmm.
To top it all off, the very first act that Tammany Hall was involved with?
I do not. I do not know much about Tammany Hall.
Yeah. To show you how far they got off course, their first act was to work with George Washington, who asked them to negotiate a treaty with the Creek Indians in 1789.
Really? So I went and looked it up after you said the name. I know almost nothing about them. Did you learn that in St. Louis, Sky?
Yeah, I took history and they taught it.
I mean, we still did a little Emma Sampson, just a little bit when I was coming through. But, founded in 1786 as a social club, it grew into a dominant force by trading jobs, housing, and social services to new immigrants in exchange for massive voter loyalty, while also becoming famous for deep municipal corruption. Named after respected Native American chief, fought for voting rights. Listen to this. Fought for voting rights for men who did not own property. So these cats started us down the road of where we are today.
Well, and they often, as these things often occur, they start out with a bit of a righteous cause.
Mm-hmm.
And it becomes corrupted over time and then just downright diabolic in their power structures.
Reached its peak in the 1860s and 70s under a guy named William Boss Tweed.
Boss Tweed. Now, you've learned about him in school.
I did not.
Okay.
I thought he made up like a different kind of jacket.
Not Boss Hogg.
Oh, yeah, that's who I learned about. Stole millions of dollars from the city through fake building bills and fraud. Dang, Roke on tour.
Kind of like USAID, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right. Nothing new under the sun. Started in the 1870s, 1780s, and hit its peak in the 1860s and 70s. Huh. That is interesting. Wow.
Which is why people cannot put their head in the sand and go, well, there's nothing I can do, because we've faced this since the creation of our nation, and if we don't fight for it, we will lose it.
That's a good point. Very good point. Yeah, it was rooted out. You think it was rooted out. Probably just went underground for a little while longer. Exposed by brave newspaper reporters and sharp political cartoons by Thomas Nast.
Yes, in Harper's, as I recall.
Really?
Yeah.
Yep.
And
a cartoon.
Did Thomas Nast have to go out and say, hey, in case anybody's asking, I feel really good and I don't feel like I'm going to unalive myself? I mean, did he have to say that?
I never met the Clintons in my life. No. Yeah.
God.
Yep. And then how did they decline in political influence? Well, the Progressive Party co-opted all of their platforms for taking the immigrants and using money to influence them and turned it into the Progressive New Deal.
Ah.
you're a smart guy, Rocco Tour.
He knows his history.
It says
sure.
Tammany Hall began to lose its grip when the U.S. government started public welfare programs during the Great Depression. So they're like, hey, these guys are helping you, but we're going to
help you more.
We'll just get the government. We'll help you more. God.
And they did.
It is so bad. So bad. Man. Well, thanks
So
for...
here we are 100 years later repeating the cycle.
You're right. Thank you.
Folks,
Thank you, Roke on Tour. That's good
folks
stuff.
have a great corruption program you got going down there.
Let's see if we can do it with the government.
It's almost like a giant syndicate. You got this mob, they got something going on here, and then the bigger mob's going to come in and take over and implement their...
The government's the only thing the mob's
success.
afraid of. The government's a bigger mob than they are. And there's a bunch of other guys who are like, how do we get in on that action? Well, we can't because Boss Hog Tweed will probably have us rubbed out. Yeah, but what if the government takes it over and then we'll just help facilitate the government's program? Oh, yeah, that'll work because then if Boss Hog Tweed takes us out, the government will come and burn his whole plantation to the ground.
You got your big Uncle Sam enforcer working for you now.
Yeah.
So,
show up with the military. Sketchy and One-Eye McGraw aren't going to do well when the 82nd Airborne lands in town. Holy mackerel.
Just take a look at the history of Las Vegas sometime if you really want to see it.
I don't even want to know.
Well,
is it bad?
Well, it pretty much sums up what we're discussing this morning, how certain criminal enterprises can come in and run something successfully, and then the government says, "Oh no, that's wrong," and the next thing you know, they're running it.
The government's doing it.
Yeah, and doing a much poorer job.
Isn't that what we do with alcohol in Alabama?
There you go. There's another great example.
Oh, no, we're going to... What exactly does the Alabama Beverage Control Board actually control? Like, what do they keep from happening? They're stopping drunk driving. They're stopping people from drinking.
No.
No.
They have no purpose. It's an antiquated... It's like Reagan said, the closest thing to eternal life is a government program. You can't get rid of it once you start it.
Especially when... This is my opinion, probably not accurate. So, is the goal of the program in Alabama is to ensure that the people who own the retail parcels continue to have their building rented out by the taxpayers.
That's the purpose they serve.
That's what I think the purpose is.
Well, it must be because that's all they do.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Because you're like, but no, they do good work because they send, they tell people not to drink too much. That's really good.
Well, now I must correct you on one thing. Now, during the COVID crisis, as I recall,
were they an essential service?
Yes.
Well, look,
we kept them open.
Kay
Scott.
Ivey is our governor, Sky.
That's right.
Let me ask you. Now, look, I know people be mad at me for it, but if I was governor, what do you think the chances are that the ABC store would be an essential service while I shut down Sky's hot dog stand?
And the gymnasium down the street.
Yeah, the gym was closed, but the liquor store was open.
Priorities, baby.
Kay Ivey, they were like, they had that list that said, all right, we're going to shut down this and this. And Kay said, what?
That gym's got to close.
The
man.
ABC store? You crazy?
Sugar,
you can't shut that down till Sally goes by there for me. Then we'll shut it down.
We got to get this straightened out now.
Are you insane? All these people. Look, the argument could be made. Everybody had to stay home with their family. You know what I'm saying? Like, it might have been essential, but for the love, we'll be back.
We bought it, didn't we?
We'll be back. Welcome back into the program, everybody. Alabama Unfiltered Radio. I'm Scott Beason. Thank you for listening. If you check out the YouTube page, you'll see the glare in the background. Big Dave also let me know it was there. I had a suggestion Jared made that I try to move the glare to the behind my head so it look like a halo.
Oh yeah, that'll work.
But I like that picture. But that's why real professionals don't have pictures in their background when they have all these ring lights and stuff. I mean, like Joey down there in the river region, he's not dumb enough to have like a picture behind him. He has like black cloths and stuff like that so that there's no glare. But no, Scott, he doesn't know. Well,
he's got real production value.
No, he does. We need Joey to come fix this mess I have up here, but whatever.
I'll ask him to
just drive on up. It shouldn't be a
Sure.
problem at all. He'll probably do it just out of the goodness of his heart. The we'll
I've got
work.
some Grateful Dead posters we could put up.
Well,
get you a black light.
It looks like I'm going to have to take out my favorite photo. Maybe I could put an drain the swamp banner right there.
That would anything.
I mean,
would
that might
help.
look good. I mean, I like the elephant, but it's a little too swanky. I can move it somewhere else. And I mean, it's got a really nice. You see it all the time. It's got a nice frame on it that my wife picked out, a long time ago. I mean, it looks good. It looks actually
It's classy.
It's too
Yeah.
good for me. There's no doubt
Right.
about it. I'm pretty,
Yeah.
I'm
I
good
agree.
with the shirt and the box that says Cracker Collection on it and that kind of stuff. But
You're more of a Cracker Barrel kind of decorator guy,
yeah, there's no doubt. No doubt. You'd be shocked at what I
I don't think I would be. Some of the listeners might be.
What
but,
I would be willing
I
to
think
put
I'm
up
pretty
back
much
there.
spot on. What's going on here?
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. Here's something
All
you
right.
did not know. You don't want to know, but you did not know. Do y'all remember Joe Biden going to Ukraine before all this craziness started? It was back in 2016 that Joe Biden publicly threatened. Hey, you remember what it was? It was like, hey, you're not going to get this $1 billion unless you get rid of that prosecutor guy. Well, that guy is back. His name is Victor Shokin. What's the name of this thing? He does not look like a criminal kind of person. You can find this. Jim Hoft has this piece. Former Ukrainian prosecutor General Victor Shokin, the official Joe Biden publicly threatened and forced out of office in 2016, claims in his new book. You want me to give you the title of the book, Sky?
Courting
Courting
gasoline
Ukrainian
junkie.
money launderers.
Yeah.
Biden's corruption and war. The true story of the $1 billion prosecutor.
Wow.
He
What's in a
apparently says that hundreds of billions of American taxpayer dollars connected to Ukraine were recycled through political interest and, quote, global networks. According to a Blaze Media column citing Shokin's first-person account, massive sums of U.S. aid intended for Ukraine were sent to those networks. He alleges $350 billion in American taxpayer money was diverted into these opaque channels amid the chaos of war. Arms deals were tainted by corruption. Wartime disorder allegedly facilitated trafficking of Ukrainian women and children. The book points the conflict itself as a vehicle for enrichment and influence far beyond the battlefield.
That was one of our conspiracies we talked about numerous times
Yes,
on the
and-
program
and-
the whole time it was going on.
Yes, and the American press acted like, hey, y'all are crazy. There's nothing. Shokin was the prosecutor general investigating the guy named Mykola Zlochevsky and Burisma Holdings. Burisma is the one you'll remember the name.
Yeah, that's Hunter Biden.
That
was
Hunter Biden was
involved
on the
in.
board. And
Because he had so much experience in those
in
matters.
natural
Yeah.
gas, I think it was.
Right.
Shokin says his office was moving against the company, seizing assets, and getting uncomfortably close to the Biden family connections. That's when the pressure campaign from Washington intensified. Joe Biden later famously boasted about it in a video that he told Ukrainian officials they weren't getting the $1 billion unless the prosecutor was gone. Well, son of a boo. He got fired. That's the quote from Joe Biden. Biden called himself the vice king in Ukrainian circles for a reason. Shokin's book details the meetings, the influence over then President Petro Poroshenko, and the coordinated effort that ended his tenure. That is strong.
It's should be blasted all over.
And let me repeat this again. Among his most explosive allegations are claims that $350 billion, not millions, Sky. We're to the point now where we have to say, no, it's billions, not millions.
A third of $1 trillion. How about that?
Yes, was recycled through political and globalist networks, that arms arrangements were tainted by corruption, and that wartime chaos facilitated the trafficking of Ukrainian women and children. But we're not supposed to ask about Epstein files. We're not supposed to want to know how all these rich and powerful people are in these Epstein emails and y'all blotted out their names. We're not supposed to know anything about that. We're not supposed to ask anything about that. And if you do ask about it, then you're not American.
By the way, the networks were all in place before the Ukrainian war, as it's called.
Oh yeah, because they were.
It was known to be the playground of the West was Ukraine.
It was supposed to be the most corrupt country.
Yeah. Money laundering,
Yes.
sex trafficking, and the war just made it more convenient to ship hundreds of billions of dollars over there, and they already had the network in place to launder this money. So very convenient.
He says
how that all worked
these
out.
are grave. Hoff says these are grave allegations. They come from a man who says he's paid a personal price for getting too close to uncomfortable truths, but they remain allegations. And the book should be read as Shokin's case, not as an independent proof of every charge. Wonder why the conservative media is saying that. It lays out
disclaimers,
dates, meetings, and episodes that Shokin says connect the Burisma investigation to the effort to fire him.
All the dominoes are lined right up.
Yeah.
The
problem is, though, are we going to do anything about it? Which the answer will be no, because the people who are doing it are friends with the Democrats. And guess what? And they're friends with the Republicans.
Weasels.
Yes. We got to take a break.
Otherwise known as the Republicans.
Yeah, we'll be back.
Every time I get a chance to listen to you, I just think how grateful I am and how much we need you on a national level so more people can hear you.
Scott Beason, president of ARP, Alabama Recovering Politicians.
Welcome back in. I cannot believe that 3 hours are almost gone. Let's get out to Clark. Clark, welcome to the program. I hope you're having a great day.
I am, Scott. I'm just getting it done. So when you were talking about if you were judging between rich or poor,
yes,
you reminded me of an alleged Yogi Berra saying.
Uh-oh. Sky's going to like this.
Yeah, I'm lighting up already. Okay.
Yogi was asked what he would do if he found $1 million.
Okay.
Yogi said, well, if the guy that lost it was really poor, I'd have to give it back.
Is there more? Or is that the whole thing?
There ain't got to be no more than that, Scott. You stop and think about that for a minute.
Yeah, I got you. How would he lose his $1 million? He might be poor now.
Well, yeah, after he lost his $1 million. So, in the history of eminent domain, for however long it's been around, has there ever been a single case where a railroad or a power company or anybody has had to give something up to an individual? That's a pretty much one-way street, ain't it?
Yeah, at least historically
it doesn't work
it has
that
been.
way, Clark. No.
Yeah. I don't think that, like, the domain has ever worked out for the little guy.
Yeah.
It's always for the good of the greater.
I like that new quote. That may be our Clarkism. It's always for the good, for the good of the greater. I mean, the greater good of the greater good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the only time eminent domain really helps somebody is if you got enough clout to have whatever new is come through in such a fashion that now your property becomes worth more. Like you end up on the exit, or now your property is going to be right beside a railway, so that now you can have industrial property. And if you can get the politicians to move it for you to enhance. But as far as, hey, it's going through here and, our bad, we'll move it over a little. I don't know if that happens very often.
Well, it happened in Rock Ridge in Blazing Saddles. Remember when the railroad came through at Rock Ridge?
I don't know what happened. How did it help them?
Oh, well, it's all corrupt. And harumph. Harumph. I didn't get a harumph out of that guy.
Oh, sorry, Clark. I know you're trying to say something wise.
So
yeah, sorry.
Pretend you've got 2 sections of land, 1,280 acres.
Okay.
And they want to run an interstate.
Okay.
Now, they want to cross your land with that interstate.
Yes.
And they're not going smack through the middle of it, but there's going to be 200 acres on the other side of the interstate that you no longer have access to, because when they put an interstate through, they put up state fences on both sides, et cetera, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now,
hey, we're gonna have to go, Clark. You may have to give me a call tomorrow about this. I want to hear the rest of it, but time has run out. Clark, I appreciate it. Y'all be good out there. Be safe. Try to stay a little bit cool. Yes. And we'll be back tomorrow, hopefully, maybe. See y'all.